The guys from Avenged Sevenfold, they just dropped in like out of nowhere. What are you guys doing here?
We went to go eat at the Oregon Trails.
The Oregon Express?
Oregon Express.
Yeah. The Oregon Trail.
M Shadows, Sinister Gates, thank
And
you so
Lewis
much for
and
stopping
Clark.
by.
It's very good, by the way. So since I
Yeah.
got the name wrong, I have to at least give props out to the food.
And you had a good beer over there that you had no idea what it was.
Dartmouth or the Dortmunder or something. It was amazing.
We're obviously tired.
Yeah.
So you guys are just like cruising around, stopping by radio stations, I guess, right?
Yeah, we're hanging out, man. We've been getting a lot of love from radio stations playing our song, so we thought we'd come out and say what's up to everybody.
That's awesome. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Tell me about this new album.
Well, it's a bittersweet album. As most people know, our drummer and best friend and brother passed away, James the Rev Sullivan, on December 28th. And, we'd basically had this whole record written, not lyrically, but musically with him. And so we kind of had to pick ourselves up and carry on. And it's kind of a therapeutic record, but at the same time, it's, obviously very dark. And it's just a crazy record that's very deep. And a lot of people are going to, I think, hopefully get a lot out of it. A lot of our fans will get to heal through it, and I know that our friends at home will definitely get that out of it.
And I know there was a huge outpouring from the fans for you guys.
And it's still happening. It's like nonstop. It's crazy.
That's got to be a really good feeling for you guys, though.
It's unbelievable because they're really the ones that wanted us to keep going and finish this record. So we were going to do it anyways, but the fans are the ones that really got us off our butts and, back into the studio. I mean, it's hard to go back and listen to the music after you hear Jimmy playing on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to go re-record it, which we had Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater do. And so it's hard to go through that process of like picking apart everything Jimmy had done and redoing it and having to listen to it every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And let's talk about Mike for a second. How did you guys bring him into the fold with this new album?
We basically had been in contact with him and friends with him for a while. He was friends with Jimmy. And when Jimmy passed away, Mike got in contact with us and his parents and was sending us stuff, flowers, and he just sent us a symbol for the funeral and stuff, because we had a bunch of bands like Metallica and Linkin Park, and a bunch of people sent stuff in for us for the funeral, and Mike did that. And so when we were kind of picking ourselves up, we said we have to finish this record. Who can play on the record, though? Who's going to be able to play what the Rev has been playing on this record? It's insane stuff. It's fast. It's
right.
It's just, and it's not like your typical just straight double bass. There's like, all sorts of patterns going on, and his hands were amazing, and his cymbal work was amazing. So we thought, well, Mike Portnoy is the guy that we think can probably pull this stuff off. And when we called him and talked to him, he was like, the little bit of shining light in all of our darkness. He's like, I'd love to do it. It'd be an honor. I'm putty in your hands. Do whatever you want, and let's make this thing rock.
Awesome.
So it was cool.
No, he's a great drummer.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And you had to have that. You could just have some guy walking off the street and.
Oh yeah, people have only heard one track, but if you listen to Nightmare, how could you have? Even the beginning stuff, like the drums are just so fast and precise. You can't just have some dude roll in and be like, I think I can play that.
Right.
It's got to have someone like Mike Portnoy to that status.
And what's the rest of the album sound like? Is it all pretty heavy stuff, or?
It's all different, man. It takes you kind of on a joyride, an adventurous joyride, but I think when we first started, we made like a conscientious effort to go back to our roots and just, we kind of took a deep look inside and figured out what kind of band we thought we were, and we're just like, we're a metal band. Let's write a great metal record, but still do it in Avenged Sevenfold fashion and give it some depth and all sorts of stuff. So there's definitely a lot of different stuff. The last half is completely different from the first half. It's just very, very touching, and it's more about kind of, it's all about what happened, and what we were dealing with and stuff, but that it definitely touches you a little bit more in the last half. And the first half is pretty much just crazy rockin' metal, without giving too much away.
I can't wait to hear the new album, guys. It's going to be in stores on July 27th.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I went to your website. I noticed that you have this limited edition Book of Nightmares. What is this?
Yeah, it's this cool thing. Zach's still working on it, but it's one of those value packs where you get like all this extra content. You're getting a lithograph of some artwork that we had done, especially for that record and for those kids that buy that. There's all the lyrics that I used in the studio that I made notes and changes on, and I scribbled all over, and we basically have those in there. And you get the CD, and I think you get some extra downloads, and you get all sorts of fun goodies.
Right, the extras, yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes in a leather-bound book with some
Yeah.
kind of a crest, and yeah, I mean, it looks pretty badass to me.
Yeah, I haven't seen one yet, but they're all created on paper right now. But
Yeah.
when I can't wait to see those.
Well, they got
Those
some
are cool.
pictures on your website.
Yeah,
so you
no,
need
I've
to go to
seen
your
those. No, I've
website
seen
more
those.
often.
I've seen those. I just haven't seen the physical product yet.
All right. And then this summer, you guys are going to do the Uproar Tour with Disturbed and Stone Sour, and I think Hell Yeah's doing some dates. They're not going to do the Columbus date, but they are going to do some dates.
They aren't doing the Columbus Day,
I don't think so.
Why not?
I don't know.
Should we ask those guys? What
You should. What's up? What's up with that? But yeah, that's going to happen on August 24th. How did you guys jump on board with Disturbed and get this thing done?
Honestly, we were offered the Mayhem Tour first, and then we were going to do that, and we were going to co-headline that with either Korn or Rob Zombie. And when Jimmy passed away, we basically canceled everything. And so then they, our friends over there, John Reese and those guys over at, with Rockstar and all those guys, they said, hey, we want to put together a tour. We want you guys, if you guys are willing to go out, we'll put something cool together. And we said, well, who's out there to play with? We want to do a metal tour. And they said, well, Disturbed and Stone Sour have new records coming out as well as Hell Yeah. So if we can get that together, would you guys do it? And we're like, yeah, we'll do that.
You're like, hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. I know it's hard to say that when you're talking about hell yeah. I swear to God, when you hear Vinnie Paul, he says hell yeah more than anybody. What are you doing? Hell yeah. You want a shot? Hell yeah. It's like, wow.
Well, they got a song called Hell Yeah. The band's called Hell Yeah. Their new single's called Hell of a Time. So.
I know. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, they're all about it, man.
But yeah, so it's a cool tour, man. It's amazing. I'm glad we're starting off with that tour. So
a lot of friends and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of friends. It's like a safe environment for us. We don't really want to walk out there with, a new drummer and be like, all right, what's going on here?
Right.
But we have, and Corey just lost Paul Gray, and it's, all those guys did, and it's going to be an emotional tour, but it's still going to rock, and we have some great production ideas, and we're just going to go out there and kill it.
Between you and I'm more excited for the Uproar Tour than the Mayhem Tour myself. But that's just me.
Thanks.
They're both going to be great shows. But
me too.
And then one more thing before I let you guys go. You guys were supposed to play X Fest 13, which we talked about off the air. And then you had some vocal issues.
Yeah.
I thought there was a storm.
There was a storm,
You
buddy.
had to cancel the tour. Everyone's going to remember this backstory. But you wouldn't have gotten to play anyway because, the windstorm blew through. But I know all the ex-listeners here in Dayton are waiting for you guys to come back.
Oh,
so we got to get this done. We got to
We
get
will.
you through.
That's what we're doing here.
We performed last night.
Yeah, we performed at the Oregon
We got to get
Express.
you back through.
We performed at the Oregon Express.
Yeah.
Bands play there, don't they?
Dortmunder in hand.
Yeah, that's a pretty small stage. I don't know.
Growing up though, that's all we played. Like our first, 4 years of playing stages like that,
Yeah,
rooms like that.
ridiculous.
But you sell that out, you're so
20
stoked.
kids.
Yeah,
it's like,
kids,
yes, dude, we did 150 kids.
Yeah.
Your first couple shows, like 4 people show up, and you're like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Mom.
We
Thanks, Dad.
drove 2 cars to Texas and played for a total of 20 people in 4 shows.
Wow. Yeah, it was awesome.
It was pretty awesome.
I played bass.
That was our big breakthrough. Yeah. When people say, "Hey, how'd you guys know you're a big band?" It was when we played Texas in front of 20 people.
So now I bet it's amazing. You walk out and do a show like an X Fest or something like that, and you see a sea of 20,000 people.
Oh, it's great,
cool.
man. It's great. It's really become a great thing. We have the most dedicated fans in the world. I mean, there's the average, radio listener, the average this or that, they might pass by Avenged Sevenfold and like it, but the Avenged Sevenfold core fan is just psychotic, and it's amazing, and we love it. And so it's good to know that those people are there supporting us, especially with what we went through, and we can't wait to see them.
Well, you guys are good dudes. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm excited to see you guys up in Columbus in August.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
come by anytime. Open invitation.
All right, buddy.
Thank you
We
very
will.
much. Yeah.
The guys from Avenged Sevenfold inside Studio X.